What's up, everybody? I've never done anything like this before. This is new ground. My name is Sunny Ray. What's up, everybody? I just feel like if I'm gonna start doing a daily vlog, I kind of need to get my story out there. And yes, it's true that I've told my story a gazillion times to a gazillion people, but you know, I just felt that maybe it might make sense for me to kind of capture it on camera so that every time somebody asks me from now on, what's your story, Sunny? I just say, hey, great question. Why don't you go check out this YouTube link? Done, right? I am a person. I am a person who was born in Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, to be exact. I am a person who was born to parents from India, more specifically Calcutta. I am a person who studied electrical engineering at University of Alberta, and then did my last few years at the University of Toronto. And I am a person who's been living in Toronto for almost half my life now. This first video is more just a little bit about who the hell I am and why am I doing this vlog. My number one reason for wanting to do this vlog is because I'm comfortable. Huh? You're asking? What? What does that even mean? He's comfortable. Why would he do a... So in my life, every single time I've ever felt comfortable, that's usually been a sign that I need to start feeling uncomfortable again. And this talking to a camera, talking to myself is super uncomfortable. I'm doing this vlog because I want to. So, I started my journey as an engineer. I worked initially in the oil industry back in Alberta. And after my first few work terms in university, I kind of realized that maybe that wasn't the industry I wanted to spend my whole life in. And so I thought by going to Toronto, a much larger city with different things going on, that I could perhaps expose myself to a different side of the world. Upon moving here, I just fell in love. I fell in love with the city, I fell in love with the people here, I just fell in love. And once I moved here, I realized that the world is my oyster. And so upon graduating, I asked myself, so where do I want to work? Where do I want to work? And the first place that I found was actually this, I was reading this magazine called Profit Guide 100, and it listed the top most profitable companies in the world. And, in Canada rather. And the most profitable company at the time, fastest growing company rather, was a company called Hydrogenics. And they were growing like mad. And I just thought, hey, well, maybe they're hiring people, so I applied. Long story short, after a bunch of interviews, I got the job. Upon working as an engineer, now no longer in the oil industry, now in the clean energy industry, I quickly came to the realization that, well, it's hard to kind of pay your bills. You know, if you're making a couple $1,000s a month, you gotta pay for your student loans, you gotta pay for your rent, you gotta pay for food, you gotta go out and have some fun, right? And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you got nothing left. So I thought, light bulb, ding! I was like, hey, why don't I, in my part-time, right, in the evenings, weekends, go out and learn about money? Hey! Okay, so this is something like 10 years ago, I don't even know now, maybe 12 years ago, before 2008, so yes, about 11 or 12 years ago. And this was before the financial crash, and I pretty much went out and joined a company called World Financial Group, but I decided to get all my licenses, like my, you know, to be able to offer mutual funds, insurance, and things of that sort. And And around 2006-7, before the crash, me personally, I decided, well, maybe this wasn't exactly what my calling was. Maybe later I'll come back to it, but I felt like there was something, different out there. And so I essentially, after that, joined a company called Quanser, another super interesting company, super relevant. But Quanser is a mechatronics and robotics company, a company that makes robots. And I worked for this company for nearly 8 years. They're based here in Markham in Canada, and it was an interesting ride, I'm not gonna lie. And maybe in 2011 or 2012, on behalf of this robotics company, I found myself living in India, and while I decided, hey, why not go and just learn things, and then one thing led to another. I remember, actually, I even remember the trail of learning things. It actually started with the whole Occupy Wall Street movement. That got the wheels kind of turning. Occupy Wall, okay, well, what's going on here? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, sweetie.
Can you please come and find me kids in my shower now? So wake up.
Yeah, I'm coming. Ciao. Alright, we're back. So I had to go and help a little bit with the kids. Got them all ready for the day, and Carl just took the 2 girls to the park. Where was I? So I was pretty much getting to the point where I just finished explaining how a couple years ago I was essentially living in India, in Bangalore. This is more than a couple years ago. This is back in 2012, 2011. And around that time, I discovered Bitcoin. So I discovered not a company, not a group, it wasn't really anything. It was just this open source code that existed on the internet called Bitcoin. And I found it fascinating. Let's stop again. So Bitcoin is pretty freaking awesome. So if I had to summarize it in kind of, a statement, Bitcoin is essentially the world's first open source, decentralized digital currency and payment network. So the reason most people find it super confusing is because it's 2 things in one. It's both a digital currency, kind of like dollars, rupees, gold, right? It goes up and down in value, highly volatile. And it's also a payment network analogous to Visa, Western Union, PayPal, a network for sending value from one point to another, if you will. And this is why most people get hung up on Bitcoin and find it a bit confusing, is because, well, it's just a couple of different things jumbled into one. Bada bing, bada boom. Finished. So, today, I'd like to continue talking a little bit about my journey. So where I left off is, 6 years ago, I found myself no longer in Canada, but instead I was living out in Bangalore, in India, on the other side of the world. And the irony is that at that time, I had my grandmother living with me. She recently passed away, rest in peace, love your grandma. But anyways, she was living with me at the time, and all I would do is just tell her about Bitcoin. Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that, Bitcoin! Tama, that's what I call my grandmother. And then after about 6 months of reading everything I could and learning everything I could about Bitcoin, I finally said, enough is enough. I need to make a move.